Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. In today's video, I'm just going to be sitting here crafting. I know it's not a scheduled live, so I'm not sure who's going to pop in here, but I'm just going to craft anyway. So, welcome to Kimelia Holt. My name is Kim, and today I'm just going to be working on um, a bucket hat as well as I don't know if I'm going to do a patch bag yet or if I'm just going to do maybe a 2 or 3 tone handbag for my daughter. I did recently make her a bucket hat. I still got to iron it. I did wash it. For those that's watching the replay, here is the hat. I did make this hat by scratch. And when I say by scratch, I mean I literally cut out all of these pieces. I also glued all them down to a piece of denim, thinner piece of denim. I zigzagged each one of these squares and I double stitched them all. I embroidered my name tag and I double stitch zigzag that as well. So I use both my domestic machine as well as my Juki TL 2010Q. Welcome in, whoever came in. Please say hi. Welcome to my channel. I just popped on just for no reason, just to, do some crafting. But I did make this. My daughter wanted strings, so I added strings to hers, and I made one for one of her best friends. And so this had not this particular one, but one similar to it will be available for purchase on my website. I'm actually working on my website at the same time that I am sitting here crafting and everything as well. Um, so they will be available. My website hopefully will be up within the next few days. But this is the hat. I did fully line it as well. Like I said, I just have to iron it and ship both of them off. She wanted orange on the inside to represent my son who's passed, and her best friend likes yellow. So, and I made his hat almost exactly similar. I mean, of course, the patches are a little bit different, but it's still the same. I just need to iron his too, and his is a little bit bigger. I just didn't put strings on his. Um, so I will be, sewing bucket hats as well um, for the future. No. Um, oh, what happened? I lost some pages. So that's what I'll be working on today. I'm just working, just to be working. I just decided to come live because I haven't been live in a while. And I have been having people ask me, where am I? So um, for those who know, my husband has some medical issues that took place. And because of that, it took us back to Delaware for 3.5 months. And when I came back and I got really, really sick myself. And it took me down. I was sick, literally, no exaggeration, for 16 weeks straight. 16. We couldn't figure out what was wrong. I just was extremely sick. And so, and then after that, I kind of didn't have no motivation to do anything. But I kept looking at my Juki every day, and I'm like, my husband paid over $1,000 for this machine, and I'm just letting it sit. So I'm letting money sit on the table, and I'm just letting it go to waste um, with the dust cover on it. And so my daughter's going to a skate event in North Carolina towards the end of the month called RITC. It's a huge skating event. I've actually never been to one because it's just way too many people for me. But she's going to that. And so I said to her, I said, what, it might be a fun idea if I make you a hat to represent my business. And so she was like, sure, because she loves bucket hats. So of course she wasn't going to turn it down. And so one of her best friends, which I think we're kind of thinking we're cousins because we do um, have ancestors that come, not just ancestors, but grandparents that come from the very same city. And that city is extremely small. You can literally walk through the city, let alone drive. You can walk through the city and or town and not know you walked through it. It is a small town that sits in Maryland. And he didn't call the city one day when we were talking. He didn't say Salisbury. He specifically said I got ancestors from Fruitland. And I said, say what now? And so for someone to say Fruitland clearly tells me that they know about Fruitland. And so I really do believe we're related, and more than just, him and her being, like brothers and sisters. So I decided to make him one as well. But I also decided to make her a handbag because I will be making a upscale denim and vinyl handbag business, as well as jewelry and now I guess bucket hats. I do have some material coming on the way. There would be different variety of denim. A variety of materials. They all won't be denim, but some of them will have denim in it as well. But I do have that coming as well. So I just decided to jump on. Normally, I have a bunch of people on by now, 11 minutes in, but it's okay. I'm going to still go ahead and go live. Like I said, it's not planned, and I haven't been live in a long time. So, and I guess the person that came in didn't want to say hi, but that's okay too. But right now, I am upcycling a pair of shorts that was gifted to me. Um, the shorts were too short. Not too short. The shorts were too small, and she just was like, "Keep them. Do whatever you want to do with them." And so when I decided to make this bag for my daughter, my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter was like, "Well, I want a bag too." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll see if I can do a matching hat for my granddaughter. Not a bag, I'm sorry, a hat, and see if I can do a matching hat for my daughter as well." Um, so that's what we're doing. So I'm going to kind of be doing both at the same time. I'm actually deconstructing the pattern now. I've already pretty much cut up the shorts and deconstructed it. I want to keep some of the dark pieces as well for the hats. Normally, I was going to just do all the lighter portions of the hat for her, but I've decided to keep some of the dark pieces as well. So I'm going to cut this up and see if I can lay out both patterns for both her and my granddaughter. If not, I'll just make it for her. Um, but that's what I was doing. I was doing it because my husband and I was trying to get my printer together because I wanted to print out a different pattern, but we're not able to get it reconnected. So I don't know what's going on. Um, so that's what I'm working on. This is a pretty little flower pattern. I really had liked the shorts, but like I stated, unfortunately, they're too short. I'm also going to I cut off the belt and the loops, but you just never know. So I decided to keep those pieces because I may even want to upcycle it for something else. Because I am going to also start showing you how to upcycle clothes. I got like everywhere, but I'm not going to really worry about that too much. Um, let me grab a wipe. And unfortunately, I had to change locations of where I craft because my husband is still home on medical. So I had to kind of move to the bedroom. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Please say hello. How are you? Welcome to Kimelia. My name is Kim. And I just jumped on just do a little bit of crafting, nothing big. Just to reconnect. I hadn't been on here in a long time. So since I haven't, I just said I'm going to jump back on. Um, in today's video, I'm just going to be constructing um, this pattern for a bucket hat. Um, anyway, I'm going to keep going. All right. And also, I'm going to turn the camera in a minute. So, but as I stated, I had to end up coming to my bedroom because I don't want him to have to sit in the bedroom because we don't have a TV in here. So I didn't want him to sit in here while I, work. So I decided to move the table and everything to the bedroom. So it is what it is. Give me a second. Why am I signed out? So that's what we're just going to be doing, just for a little bit. I'm not going to be on here long. Um, just came on to show my face a little bit. I am a little surprised that I don't have as many people in here or nobody in here right now, but it's okay. All right. In this sec, I want to make sure my volume is off. Okay. Hold on. I just wanted to find my live because that way I can see the comments. I don't usually have this issue trying to find myself live. Okay. All right. So I have the pattern already printed out. I couldn't bring any of my big printers here, so I had to use my thermal printer. So I've had this in here for a few days to flatten it out. However, I forgot to put this in there, and then some of the pieces came apart. So it's okay. It's okay. We're going to keep going. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm just on here doing a little bit of crafting and sewing. Nothing big. Just decided to go live just because. I am going to move you. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do this setup. How are we going to do this? Let's move you here for a second. All right. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit that. I'm probably going to have to use pins today because of my pattern being curled. Give me a second. And I'm going to move you down. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Normally, what I would do is glue my pattern. I cut it out, glue my pattern down to some cardstock, but I've decided I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to use my washers that I use for paperweight because I do have a very limited time that I have to get this handbag done. Welcome in, please. Hello. Welcome in. I'm just in here doing a little bit of crafting. I haven't been live in a long time. So I'm going to be making a hat. So and that's all we're doing today. And well, a bucket hat and a purse. Like I said, normally what I would do is after I cut it out, let's turn you. Let me bring you down some. Okay, so here is the pattern, and I'll try to remember to put the designer of this bag in the description box. But like I said, normally what I would do is I would cut it all out and then I would just take a little glue stick and glue the pattern to some cardstock so I can have the pattern over and over and over and over again. But today I am not going to do that because I am really on limited time. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it done. I'm really just going to move you to the side. Um, like I said, I forgot to put this in a, I forgot to put this in a, the envelope to keep it from curling. But I'm just going to go ahead and cut this pattern out so I can lay it out on my fabric, because I do have to have this bag done by Sunday so I can have it shipped off. Um, so once again, I actually just made her, and it has to be ironed, so don't mind the wrinkles. I just made her the bucket hat. I actually hand cut out every piece. Also, I zigzag stitched every patch that's on here. Um, it is fully lined, and so a hat like this, similar to this, will be available on my website within the next few days. But this is the hat that I just made, and I'm gonna make a 2 or 3 tone bag. I haven't decided. Am I gonna do a 2 or 3 tones? Try my best to hold it, keep it from curling. So I have to get this done too for her event. I thought I had this inside of one of the plastic folders to straighten it out, but I guess I forgot. And these are paper scissors. Make sure you never, ever, ever use your fabric scissors to cut out paper, because you will dull those scissors. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can say hi. Please say hi. Welcome in. All right, one piece. So like I said, this is what I'm doing today. And like I said, I haven't been live in such a long time. So I'm getting ready to get acclimated to going live again on a consistent basis. I just haven't decided what days. Before, I used to go live on Mondays and Thursdays. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with those days, because I also have some other things that I'm working on. Matter of fact, I actually have in my ears right now some earrings that I made that I'm also going to be offering on my website that I got into. I have different types of earrings that also will be offered. Some are going to be high end and some are not. All right. I'm going to make sure I know this is before. How are you doing today? Okay. And normally I would already have this cut out, but I was just sitting here and I said, well, you know what? Let's just go live and do it on live. Normally I wouldn't do all of this on live. Well, I don't always use patterns, but the times that I do, I normally have this already cut out. And I said, oh, well, crafting is crafting. But why not show it all? I am going to be doing a zigzag on the bag, the stitching. I will be doing a zigzag stitching on the bag. I just haven't really. Normally, I would draw it out on my iPad, on my Procreate. I drew out the hat pattern. I did not draw out the bag. This is part of 4 as well. I'm gonna tell you a little secret too. So I don't know if you notice, I am using a green pen. I am using that green pen on purpose. It's part of manifestation. Green represents money. So that's why I'm actually using a green pen. Typically, I would also be, this doesn't make sense to me. Typically, I would also be burning a green candle. Um, a lot of times you wouldn't see it, it would be off, but some days when I was back in the States, you could see the green candle burning. And I would burn that too. And I typically would have different green stones laying around as well when I'm crafting. I normally do that. I just didn't do it today. I know I was working with a lot of paper and I have limited room, as whereas in South Carolina, I had way more room to work. Even in Utah, I had way more room to work with. Now, being in the islands, I'm very limited to my space, which is why I'm in the bedroom this time. But I normally, if you're someone that manifests, um, it's a good practice to have your crystals and your candles laying around. I also put crystals. I don't put candles, but I put crystals in my garden as well. And I use crystals quite often. I'm a little confused about this pattern piece right here. So I'm not going to cut this piece. Well, I'm going to cut that piece, but I need to figure out what this is first. The instructions are not that clear. I do have a pattern for a handbag that I made. It's going to be a recreation of a old classic bag that was carried back in the 20s and 30s. I love the 20s and 30s era, but it's going to be an up, upper scale bag that is going to be that I did recreate. So I did recreate that pattern already. I want to leave this pattern piece the way it is. I'm a little confused as to why this is like this. It doesn't really quite make sense. I think it's the bag and the strap, but I'm not 100% sure yet because those instructions are not clear. I'm really not clear. Okay. Um, I think that is the strap. Got it. It's the strap. I think it is. I'm hoping it's the strap because this is definitely not really clear for me. But I don't see the rest of the strap, and this looks like the strap. Or the gusset. It might be the gusset. I'm feeling the gusset. All right. Because that's the handle I did right here. And I do have a few other videos that I just have not yet. Oh, that's the bottom of the bag. Okay, I got it. It would have been nice if this would have they wrote on here to tell us what it is, but they did not. It's not written. Everything is not written on, which is why you see me write those numbers on there too. There's only a couple pieces that have numbers written on them. I do have a rotary um, for paper. I just didn't pull it out. I don't think this is a piece, but I'm going to be safe and keep it. Yeah, I think this is the other strap. I mean, a gusset, sorry. This is a little more difficult work for me because I'm not used to, give me a second. I'm not used to, let me see something, you guys. I'm actually going to listen to a live. You get to listen to a live on TikTok.
Everybody look. This is my cabinet full of all the things I've ever wanted. Peace, Amber. Right? I got all these things that I'm.
Give me a second. We're gonna listen to this.
You know what I mean?
This is a spiritual live, so not deep, but it's a spiritual live.
Things are being given to you, and they don't seem to be anything. You're just tossing your mind over this shit, all things, whatever. Then I'm gonna start giving you shit.
All right, give me 1 second.
You're gonna have nothing in your hands, nothing to show for it. Right? And it's just because you didn't appreciate the little things that were being given to you over and over and over and over. Boom, 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 in the moment. That's why you got to
This is Rashad Poet. He welcome in, welcome in. He has a several books that he has put out. The one I like is Someone's Been Lying. Words of curses and spells. Let me grab it for you so you can see it. He's under 40, however.
We make fun of as Christians.
He is very, 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 very knowledgeable. Here's his book. I know it's probably a little bit glare. Rashad Poet, Someone's Been Lying. Words are spells and curses. You can get it off of Amazon. It's like $32 or $3 or something. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I would highly suggest picking it up. He's talking about history. He's talking about spirituality. He's breaking down the etymology of words and the way to use them correctly. I did learn etymology when I went to college, especially in law. First thing you learn is etymology and the importance of etymology, because all of our laws actually are written based off of etymology, which is the first usage of the words. So there are a lot of words that we use incorrectly in the English language, and when you actually use a word incorrectly because you don't know the true definition or breakdown of the word, you could be putting a curse on you. So a lot of these words I knew already, because one of the words that we did not use unless you really was like a prosecutor and you was really going after somebody was the word nice. The word nice doesn't mean friendly. It means foolish. It's a foolish person. And so it's things like that we use that are actually curses. So and one of the other words I love that I just recently learned, and I'm still learning to not say this word, this one's a little bit more difficult, is to use the word husband and wife, because those words mean derogatory meaning. They have derogatory meaning. Um, so I'm learning to erase those words from my vocabulary. I'm trying to use spouse more now than anything. You just have to be careful when you use that word spouse, because people often think other things, unfortunately. But that is the word I'm trying to add to my vocabulary. I'm taking off the word husband. They mean lowly. A lot of derogatory words that I will not use on here, but both of those words are derogatory. Neither one of them means anything good. But you would have to look up the etymology, not the definition. That's the difference. Because the definition, the definition is far greater, far different than the etymology, and the etymology is not what law uses. I mean, definitions is not what the law uses. When they're writing laws, they use etymology. So they're using the first usage, the original meaning of a word. So that's something we have to be careful with. And although you may hear him use the word Bible, I don't subscribe to the Bible anymore. But I don't get offended, because sometimes it's just easier to use to help people understand. So he's not that super spiritual person, but sometimes you have to use it in certain references. I don't personally have to use it in references when I'm trying to get my point across. I choose not to. However, it is his style of teaching. I can't say I didn't find some jewels within the Bible when I was going to church and preaching. I'm not going to say I didn't find any jewels. That would be a lie because there are some jewels in there. And so he just used the Bible as a way to describe about feeding the hungry, the children.
Which one of the guys? Everybody's a God and God. One of them. You all be saying. Okay. So.
I actually have a ministry, and I used to feed the homeless and clothe them when I was in the States.
See the babies. One of y'all guys and got us a tunnel. Missing children.
As well as the shelters.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what it's all about. We can do these things. Yeah, I figured as much. Figured that's what you were saying. But we can do these things, girl.
I hate talk to text because it be changing your words, and I did not take the time to read that before I hit send. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm just down here today, just doing a little bit of, I guess you could say crafting. I am just sitting here cutting out a pattern to make a purse while listening to a live on TikTok while talking to whomever that comes in. I know it's been a while since I've been live, but welcome in. Please say hello. So I'm just cutting out the pattern. I'm making a small hobo bag for my daughter for a trip she's about to take. Um,
That's what we're doing.
Let me turn this down just a tad.
That's one.
All right. How are you today? All right. I believe I have all the pieces cut out. As I stated, her pattern or his or her pattern is really not that clear. Thank goodness I know how to sew, but it's really not that clear. So let's go ahead now. The next step is where did I move my tape to? Oh, right here. Let me go ahead and get my tape. I moved it too far. Go ahead and take the pattern together. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go ahead and take this together now. Oops. Finish up. Second. All right. I don't know why my husband keeps buying me more and more tape when I ain't even run off the last one, but I am going to open this anyway because it's the closest one to me. As I stated, typically what I would do is after I cut my patterns out, I would glue them to some cardstock or even the little plastic cutting boards from the dollar store. Really, no one should be cutting their food on there to prepare it, but I understand everybody's pockets is not the same. So I'm not going to degrade anybody, but it does have a lot of harmful chemicals in it. I use those cutting boards for my patterns, but I'm in the islands and we don't have dollar store, so I ran out and I just need to get my daughter to ship me some. But anyway, let's go ahead and put this together. Did I take you out of camera? I don't see you. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. because I'm using my other device to make sure I stay in view for you. Okay, good. Am I in view now? All right. So now we're going to go ahead and piece together this pattern. This is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. On her website, it looks like it's a small pattern, and it was very inexpensive. She does have little circles on here. She did a center circle to make sure you keep the pattern lined up. I just think that it could have been labeled a little bit better. The pattern was only at the time, I believe, less than $3. That's no shade or nothing. Don't think that for one moment. It's any shade or anything. Not at all. It's just, it wasn't a very expensive pattern. And I just take the tape and go all the way down. Like I said, normally I would still do this with tape it together and then glue it to a cutting mat, but I'm here while I'm sewing.
Gotta get these people out. Right. So whatever.
All right, give me a second, y'all. I'm not sure what's going on.
There's no way that.
Oh.
There's no way you can petition the right. It's not.
All right. Welcome. Hi, I'm Biased. How are you? I'm just on here, just doing a little bit of crafting today. As you know, I haven't been on here a long time. So welcome in. So I'm on here. I'm just cutting out a pattern I got off of Etsy. I have to make a handbag for my daughter. And so I'm just putting this together. I decided to buy a pattern this time. How are you? They didn't do a good job with this pattern. He has me all the way confused. So I'm making a hold on, let me grab. I'm making a denim bag. Thank you. Be a little bit more consistent. I don't know if you know, Unbiased, that last year my husband had some medical health issues, and we had just recently moved to the islands, and so we had to come back to the States for him to take care of his medical health issues, and we were there for several months. When I came back, I got sick for approximately 16 weeks. And then after that, I had no motivation to do anything. And so my daughter's going to an event at the end of the month, and she loves bucket hats. So I said, I'll go ahead and make her a bucket hat so she can promote, because I had to rebrand from the, the cosmetic line, or my Bath and Body Care line. So I said, well, I've been sewing over 50 years. I might as well get back to it, because I'm on here in the islands, and you can't bring none of the products out here. So it's hard to regulate those products out here. So I made her a bucket hat. It has to be iron steel. But I did do the bucket hat by scratch. I cut out every piece and hand stitched, did the zigzag, not hand stitch, I'm sorry, doing the zigzag stitch. And I even embroidered my label and put the label on, and then lined the hats. And so I said, I'll make her a little two-tone bag to take it with her. So yeah, this is what I've been working on lately. So I made two hats, one for her and one for her best friend. Um, Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you do remember he was sick. Yeah. So, yeah, when we came back, I was fine for like the first week. And then after that, I got extremely sick to the point that we didn't even know what was going on with me. We could not figure it out for nothing. And I literally was sick for 16 weeks. It was horrible. Thank you. Oh, I love denim. I actually got a few videos I made too, and I just never put them out. I don't know why. I haven't edited them or anything. And but yeah, I got sick, and then after that, I lost all motivation. But I was like, my husband brought me this freaking $1,300 Juki sewing machine, just sitting and money sitting on the table. So it's like, get it together. And so when she says something about, she's looking for another bucket head, I said, how about I make you one? I'll do your patchwork one. So I literally cut out each one of those patches from the material I got from Fleischman in Philly. So I just figured I'd maybe make her a 2 or 3 tone bag to go with it. So that's what I'm doing. I bought this inexpensive pattern from Etsy. However, whoever made this pattern did not do a good job with labeling the pattern. So, and I have to have this done by Sunday. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. I just decided to go live and just enjoy because I hadn't been live in so long. You know what? I had one. The interesting thing, I had wanted one, didn't even know that Showing had one, all things Showing. And so I was like, I want this machine. I've been wanting this machine. I have been eyeing it for a couple of years. And so I had finally, my husband was like, just go ahead and get it. Just go and get it. So I went on and got it. It took a while to get out here because we're in the islands. Juki junkies don't really ship here. So it took me a minute. I had to ship it somewhere else and then ship it here. And then I was telling Sean about it. She's like, oh, I got one and you're going to fall in love. And I love it. When I say that walking foot went across that denim like butter, yeah, get your one self one as soon as possible. As soon as possible. You're gonna love it. I love it. I just, it's a straight stitch. However, you'll love it. But I'm just taping up the pattern right now. Normally I would put this on the dollar store cutting mat. Yeah, see, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, her pattern doesn't make sense. I think she did this backwards. Yep, she did. She didn't flip her image. She didn't flip it. Now I have to alter it. Hmm. Um, Normally I would glue this to a cutting board, dollar store cutting board, and preserve it that way. But we don't have dollar stores out here, so I just said I got to do what I got to do, and I'll just have to reprint it. Um, but yes, I have rebranded my business into. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just saying you are going to love it. Once you get it, you're going to love it. I promise you. Um, I know Juki, what is it? Juki Junkies. They actually have a finance program. They just don't ship out here, so I couldn't go through them because I would have financed mines if I had to. But they don't ship out here anyway, so I didn't end up going that route, even though I was getting ready to. But I would check out Juki Junkies that's in Florida, based out of Florida. I would look out for, check them out. I do get some of my pieces and parts and stuff from them. Um, but yeah, so this is all I'm doing. I said I might as well just test the waters since it's been a minute. Because that hat right there kind of took the wind out of me. It took me those two hats 4 days because of the way I did it. Normally a bucket hat would only take a couple of hours. Yeah, she didn't do this good at all. I say you've been making some really cute bags too. But I had rebranded a while ago. I just never came back on here to do anything. I'm gonna cut this to make it even. She literally, whoever made this pattern didn't really do a good job, but it is what it is. We're going to make it work. We're gonna have to make it work. I'll just have to cut it to make it even. But it is definitely, this pattern is definitely not even. And no stretch of the imagination, which means I'm probably gonna have to alter the gusset as well. Let me see. Because nothing about this pattern is even. But this is all I'm doing is working on this so that she can have this. Just a little free promotion while paying for to make this. That's the part, and back in the day, I used to actually have a boutique and when I was in Delaware. And everything in my boutique was actually made by me. And I would make occasional bags, not like this, not on this scale. And it's a lot of work. That cutting of the fabric and stuff is really, really difficult. But I do have a signature bag that I am going to still come up with that I made the actual pattern for. I just haven't released the pattern yet because I'm still trying to trademark the pattern. I don't want to put the pattern out without trademarking it. It is a recreation of an old pattern, so I haven't even talked about it yet. But it's an old pattern, and it's a recreation of a pattern that's not copyrighted. So I'm a copyrighted and trademark it as well. Good. And that's even. All right. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Just making her a little bag. So let's see about the gusset. What's going on with the gusset? See if the gusset is even because if that wasn't even. He didn't like a lot of the pieces, unfortunately, are not labeled. So I'll have to try to figure out these pieces myself because they're not all labeled. Um, this is the bottom. But I do have some other videos that I put out. Yeah, but the end result is amazing. All right, so this is the handle.
Do you think the Christians?
Yeah, I'm not gonna tear that person down, but at the same time, you can't be selling patterns if you're not gonna label the pieces so that the people are purchasing these patterns can know what they're doing. Like it's kind of crazy and it defeats the purpose if you're not gonna label them. So now I have to sit here and try to figure it out myself. Like her notches, her arrows, none of that actually lines up. So there's two pieces to the handle. On the instructions, it tells me the pieces, but when you look at it, the pieces itself are not labeled. So yeah, I really don't know. But yeah, she definitely did not label this properly. I shouldn't have to go through this. I should just be able to cut it out and lay it on my fabric and get the cutting.
Like this. I believe.
I'm assuming this is the handle. Oh, what you working on now? Make this a little more sturdier. All right.
These people don't begin.
I'm assuming this is the gusset. Like I said, she has the one piece of the gusset labeled, but then the other three pieces are not labeled. But I do know how to make a gusset, so I'm gonna have to try to figure this out myself. She said there's 4 pieces to it, but it's not labeled. I'm not understanding the 4 pieces because they're not even even. Bottom definitely doesn't have this even. Wow. You know what? That happened to me the other day. The other day I got so frustrated. Like I said, I recorded most of me making those bucket hats. And there was actually twice, 2 days in a row, where StreamYard shut down on me. And I was telling my husband, I was like, I was so upset because I was like, the whole time I thought I was filming, and almost approximately, I think, an hour, because I was doing, the recording first, and I was going to do clips from the recording and then upload, the clips as well. And I was filming the whole time thinking that I figured it out, thinking that I was recording, and it wasn't recording because it shut down on it. It literally shut down. I was so upset because I don't even know at what point it really shut off. And I haven't even gone back to look at it and edit it, but I did the same. It happened to me twice the other day, making that bucket hat. 2 days in a row. I guess this with years of experience to get you to this was definitely a little difficult to figure out. It's still not quite even though. I don't know what she was thinking. I think this goes over here. Yep, this goes over here. But yeah, that should have been better. That should have been better labeled. Wow. I think what I'm gonna do is just put this in half and make sure I know the 2 pieces are exactly the same. I think I'll do it like that on a fold to make sure that I'm doing it correctly because, yeah, that's not cool. All right, so that's my bag. Put you over here. Let me see. Okay. So I went when I was home. I'm from Delaware. Why is this doing this? And we don't have any fabric stores anymore, so I had to go to Philadelphia. And I did a video on it finally. I actually left that video in my phone for like 8 months before I even uploaded that. I'm like, what was I thinking? But I was so disappointed because I've always shopped at the Fabric Row. They call it Fabric Row. Some people call it the Garment District now, but back then it was specifically called Fabric Row because they sold fabric. It was a bunch of fabric stores. And I know COVID has affected a lot of places, but when I tell you I was so disappointed with Philadelphia's Garment District, there was only maybe 10% of the stores still open. And then the ones that were pretty much still open were and I don't want nobody thinking I'm being, racist or anything, but the Hispanic stores that doesn't sell stuff that we typically would like. Yeah, my screen wasn't black though, but my screen stopped recording. It just was stuck. It was stuck in one position. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And that's how I kind of noticed it because I noticed I was stuck in one position and I hadn't moved. that's how I figured it out. It's cut on the bottom too. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so I was kind of a little disappointed at how bad it went down because I would go to New York as well, that garment district. However, not quite as much as I would go to Philly because it's so much more convenient. So it just was a little disappointing to see how it went down. Fleischmann's was still open. I didn't realize I had been there before until I went to go ring up and my old email was, which is the email I used. I didn't even use a business email, was still in the system. So that's how I realized, oh snap, I've been here before. I didn't remember because it's been a long time. I've been out of Delaware a long time, but I used to shop there when I had my boutique because, like I said, I made all the clothes in my boutique. I made all the clothes. I wasn't buying clothes um, from the garment district in California or even online overseas. I literally was going there buying, and at that time, John Hancock's was still open. So I would either go John Hancock's because it wasn't Hancock's, it was John Hancock's at the time, and I would go to the garment district to get my fabrics. Normally, I don't use pins, but in this case, I'm going to have to since I did not glue this to the mat or cardstock like I normally do. So I'm going to trace it right on the fabric. And typically, I would do this right side out. Typically, I would turn the fabric inside out, but I'm choosing not to because my heat erase pin does not show up well on that side. So I decided to keep it on this side. Maybe this pin is not. Hold on, I don't know what's happening to my. Give me a second. Okay, give me a second. I don't like his name. John. All right. Don't know what happened here. Having some technical difficulties.
These people were alive.
Hold on, this light is glaring me. It's making it hard for me to see. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. All right, don't know what happened there. But yeah, so I just was a little disappointed. My husband's from Philadelphia, and he hasn't been back until he got sick every bit of 20 years. Seemed like maybe about 15 years, and he couldn't believe it either. He was so shocked to see how the garment district or fabric district had went down. So I really only purchased fabric from two places. I got. You have a picture of what pattern looks like finished. The handbag. Yeah, it's a picture. So I did kind of use that. But it's even in the picture, it's not that clear. Oh, so you wasn't in here also. So what I did was, it's not a picture in color either because I didn't have a lot of space. I have the that's not enough space. I have the Epson 1550 15,000 printer, the really big one, the really large printer. And I knew I didn't have enough space for that printer. So, and I gave away my two small ones, but I did have one more other, and I didn't get a chance to ship it out here. So what I did was I knew I had to have a thermal printer for the labels. So but it's a full length thermal. It is an A4 thermal printer, and so I printed the pattern off of there since I didn't have no other printer because my husband's not at work still. He's still home. So it's not in color, but I do have the actual picture. But I still was surprised that she still didn't print this that well. I mean, do this pattern that well. I also have a bucket hat pattern. I used a pattern when I made those bucket hats for the niche, for the base of the pattern. I didn't like it, so I had to alter it. But what I'm going to do is in the future, I'm just going to create my own because I didn't like that bucket hat pattern either. But you are talking to someone who's not really used to using patterns. I'm used to using mannequins. When it comes to clothes, I'm used to just using mannequins and making my designs on a mannequin. So, I mean, I do know how to use patterns. I used to teach sewing as well, so I do know how to use them. But I'm just noticing a lot of people with these PDF patterns, a lot of these young ladies really don't have no real knowledge in pattern making. So that's why these patterns don't be that good. They're doing it because it's a trend, but they don't have real knowledge in pattern making. And I understand. But I am used to, when it comes to clothing, making my designs on the actual mannequin. All right. Let me cut this out first. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of space because I had to move to the bedroom because he's still home from work. But it's okay. We're going to make it work. I could use my rotary, but I choose just to use the scissors for now. I brought this self-healing mat, and when I first cut the first bucket hat out, I noticed it wasn't healing back, but then I had forgotten that this mat came with its own cutter. And I was so mad because the cutter it came with did not cut the mat up, but the original my Frisco rotary did. And so I got portions of it that didn't heal. And the Juki actually sitting on here is leaving marks from its feet, which is surprisingly right there. Oh, so here I'm now. This one I am going to upcycle. I'm making another one for my youngest daughter, but she was like, "Well, Mom, you making her one? Make me one too. Me and your granddaughter." And so I asked her, "Was it okay if I upcycle hers using upcycle material?" So she said yes. So I'm actually gonna. So somebody had gifted me with these jeans, and they were too small. And with me being in the islands, I was like, I could send them back to you. But she's like, no, it's not worth it. Keep them, do what you want. So I'm actually going to use, I never got a chance to wear them, but I'm going to use these shorts that was gifted to me to make her, my granddaughter, a bucket hat. So I'm going to upcycle this. I'm going to upcycle, this pattern. I'm also going to keep the dark parts too to make my youngest daughter and her and my granddaughter a hat. Hopefully I can make both of them out of this material. With just this is enough. If not, I do have some light material I can add in. I got some dark material I can add. But I'm gonna make her one too because she got a little jealous. Yeah, because of the weight on the machine, yes. Yeah. I was like, wow, I was leaving dark marks and nothing I used actually was getting it up, but I was like, it's okay. I don't get it. But I do have one of those mats that you put underneath the sewing machine. I have one of those coming. I had originally was going to order it and I changed my mind, but now I wish I did, but I did order it. So I had to order one of those. One of the ones that, help the weight and the vibration. So I went on to order one of those so I can sit on that. All right. And make sure the grain is right. Oh, this is the right grain. All right. Oh, you know what? Let me label this too because she definitely didn't label this properly. Hmm. Didn't even write how many times to cut it. And that's important too. That's definitely important. You always should tell your customers how many pieces to cut. All right, so let's just go ahead and do the body of the bag. Now this one I'm going to trace out. I also before you came on, I was sharing with a couple of people that was on here earlier that I a couple things I normally do when I'm crafting, working, whatever I'm doing, is I typically light a green candle, which green represents money. I also typically have my green crystals laying around. I didn't do that this time. I also usually write in green, so I write in green as well, just because, like I said, it represents money, and it's a way of manifesting wealth and success to my business. So you'll occasionally see my crystals and candles, but because I knew I had to put out this big, yardage of fabric, this is still about 3 yards of fabric. I was like, I'm not going to take that risk of touching my candle. So, all right. So this is the bottom. I mean, this is the full bag. So I need 2 of these, of course. You need something, baby? Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to go ahead and trace this out. It may not. This one may not come up. My other one didn't come up. Yes, it's coming up. But you'll see me. It's not that I like the color green. I just like it for manifestation. This is real. So I'm just going to trace this out. Uh-oh, come on. Don't run out on me, even though I do have another one. But if someone's spiritual, why not manifest while you're working? That's what spiritual people do. At least me. All righty. Right. Like manifest that business. You want that business to be successful. Actually, I got a pattern for these. I like to buy the washers. Paperweights are expensive. So I did learn the trick of using washers. Make sure I can see it all the way around. No, little go, little not clear. Line you back up for a second. I like to use the washers. Let's go back around just a little bit. Um, a description of that. All right, let's go over this side one more time, just this side. But yeah, I like to manifest. Even with my bath and body business, I did the same thing. The difference between you and now. Someone else must be running out. There we go. There we go. I definitely believe in manifestation. Over here, need you. I'm going to cut it out so I can just free up some space, and then I'll finish trimming it up afterwards. I don't believe in wasting too much fabric either. Fabric costs too much money, so I try to put everything together as close as possible. All right. Now we're going to do the handle. Okay, and I do not do this on a fold. All right. Do you have set days, unbiased, that you go live? Because I barely can I catch you once in a blue moon. What did I do with it? Use it for this because this is a bunch of straight sticks. You know what? I wish I could do that though. I we don't really have no places out here I like. And I didn't really think about it when I was home. I was like, dang, I should. Well, I did know. I did go to the Goodwill in Wilmington, but it went down so bad. I didn't like it. And not only that, I was so shocked to see how expensive the denim was. I was like really surprised because I used to teach upcycling too. And I was like, this is really expensive. I was so shocked. I don't want to do that. To see how they was this so we have Salvation Army in Wilmington. We have one big one. They took the two and combined them together, made one huge Salvation Army. Show your. And I was so surprised to see how it kind of went downhill. But we don't have those out here, unfortunately. Oops. Okay. Central. Okay. That's why. Central. Got it. All right. All right. So I'll keep these pieces together. I end up cutting out the one piece. I was going to do that two-tone. I may still do it. I don't know. I don't think I want to do two-tone. I think I'm going to leave it the way it is. Just the one solid color. Because I really don't feel like doing two-tone. And I have been sewing for the last 6 days straight. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. And not do the 2 or 3 tone. I think I'm just going to leave her the one color because that color is in the hat anyway. So I think I'm just going to leave it there. I don't know. But I've been on now for a little over an hour. Unfortunately, also, I don't have a proper sewing chair and I don't want to purchase one now. I decided I didn't want to buy one. And so I have to limit my time to sitting at this table. I may go live again a little bit later, but I'm going to end it here for now with all the pieces out. I'm not going to sew it up without being live. I'm definitely going to stay live. So I got to cut it out too. I'm going to definitely stay live. I'm going to go live when I sew it up, but I'm going to end it for now. Go ahead and, eat and take my puppy out for her walk, and I may come back live. Thank you for spending some time with me on Bias. I certainly appreciate it. Normally, it's a bunch of people in here. I'm really surprised. I guess they said I haven't been live in a long time. But yeah, I may go live later. I may still go live later. If not, I'll may go live tomorrow. But I'm definitely going to start going live more often. I go live on TikTok all the time, which doesn't make sense. But over there, we teach history. We teach American Indian history. So it's a different type of vibe. Which I do have another channel. It's called Copyhue Mississippian. I am going to start going live on that one, bringing, I was teaching some American Indian history business on here, but I wanted to separate the two channels. And so I am constantly harassed about going over our surnames because a lot of people think that we have the quote unquote, white man's name or a slave master's names. And that's actually furthest from the truth. The names that we have are names that our ancestors actually gave us. So I am still going to do that live as well, teaching about the surnames and how we originate here on this land and not nowhere else. but I need to start building that channel. I did create another channel to separate the two. I do have two genealogy videos over there that was originally on this channel. All the other videos I did get rid of, but I'm going to start going live over there as well. So again, thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and I will see you in the next video. All right now. All right. There we go.